What does it do, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Scotty Says. I'm your host, and welcome to episode 88. 88 Infinity Squared, my folks. Welcome in. And oh man, what if I told you? What if I told you the Rams would go on the road to face the Ravens, the number one ranked team in the NFL, and on the road in inclement weather that the Rams would run the ball 9 straight times to open their offensive possession? What if I told you there would be 9 lead changes in the game? What if I told you the game would be decided walk-off style in OT? What if I told you all that? Well, if I told you that, I'd be telling you the truth, because that happened. We saw it, and it was an epic game to behold. And I my folks, I have to tell you now, I did not expect that the Rams would go on the road and defeat the Ravens. So I can't tell you that I'm shocked that they have to bring that L back to LA. If you saw my last episode, 87, I called for this very thing, a spirited effort on both sides of the ball and leaving it all out there on the field, and that's what they did. And so I'm not shocked at the outcome, but watching this epic game unfold, I couldn't help but walk away feeling like they had it. The Rams had the dub, and they fumbled it away. The narrative, as I mentioned this last episode, the narrative all across the land is look at Coach McGenius. Look at him. Look at him win. Well, he's a game under 500, but look at him enjoying himself and coaching, a mediocre squad coming off a 5-12 disaster. Look at him. What a genius. This is what they say. They say, well, the record, I mean, he has no talent to work with, This is what the national narrative is. The media types. There's a guy on TV every day. The one looks like a ferret. Every day he's singing the praises of McWonder. Oh, this is his most marvelous coaching performance of his brilliant career. They're 6-7. Well, he has nothing to work with. And see, this is where, my folks, I have to divert very briefly to story time. I know I haven't given you story time in a minute, and this one's gonna be right to the point. There's a string of fires popping out around the city or the outskirts. Fires, and the authorities are convinced that these fires are being set intentionally, and there is a search on the lookout for the perpetrator. And at each of the fires, when they go up in a blaze, and there's a crowd of people who assemble and watch and ooh and ah, and there's a hero. He's shown up multiple times. The hero. He has the proper materials and disposition to go and put the fire out, and he saves. He's heroic. He saves ruin and certain disaster, and he's hailed and awarded. He's a civic hero. Except as the investigation proceeds, why, there's strong evidence that seems to be linking the hero to the fires. And so, my folks, what has happened is the arsonist shows up to help put out the fire and is awarded. The arsonist is praised and glorified for dousing the fire he set. You heard anything like that ever? I mean, it happens quite a bit. Because you see, the arsonist seems to get some type of pleasure from seeing the result of his work. Well, he's got issues, you know. I say all that. I say all that to say, why do you think? Because that's the narrative now. He has nothing to work with. McGenius doesn't. Why do you think he has nothing to work with? Why do you think that is? Oh, let's put it a different way. I could name you a squad of players who have been essentially banished, exiled from the palace for a ham sandwich, no less. Not for any great return. With the golfer was banished, to be sure, but with the golfer there was a fair exchange. You know, there was a return. But with these players that I'm referring to, that McGenius has discarded from the kingdom, from the palace, he's got nothing back. Ham Sammy's discarded talent. I bring up Robert Woods quite a bit. You know I do. If you've watched previous episodes, I hope you have. Please subscribe if you haven't already. But I bring up Bobby Trees quite a bit because Bobby Trees was a core guy. Okay? Came in with McWonder. 2017, they came in that first year together, and from the beginning was a leader and a core member of the squad and a leader in the wide receiver room. And Cup and Soup, he came along. Yes. And the two of them together were 1A and 1B. And you could say, hey, you know, which is A, which is B, it's fine. And then remember, Soup got hurt the initial time, the first time. And he was allowed to rehab and come back. But Bobby Trees, he got hurt, and well, once he was hurt, he never played for the Rams again. They banished him to, I believe it was to Tennessee for a ham sandwich. No cheese. White Wonder bread. That's it now. And I thought, what was that about? And so, when you start to look at it a little more closely, why, you see there's this long pattern. What happened with Todd Gurley? I ask you. Someone leave me a comment and let me know. What was the real thing that happened with Todd Gurley and McWonder? There was a falling out now, something. You get anything for Gurley? Nope. Ham Sammy. Cam the Grill Acres. Ham Sammy. Get out of here. Problem. There's an issue. Something's wrong. Stink. And so, this growing list of talent, and I often mention Bryce Perkins. You had no regard for him, Mr. McWonder, and you let him go for a Ham Sammy for ripping and bumbling. Oh, no. But you did. Oh, he has nothing to work with. I wonder why. Remember Deshaun Jackson? Anyone? I do. Remember? There was, conflict. McWonder and D-Jax. Something. Gone. Ham Sammy. Sony Michelle won you some ball games. Discarded. Ham Sammy. And I mentioned Brandon Powell all the time. I like Brandon Powell. He's a hard-nosed football player to his core. He runs hard. He gives it his all, and he's got explosive talent, breakaway speed. He's got ability. He can break a game for you. That's what you need, McGenius. You need that on special teams. Do you see where I'm going with any of this, my folks? Stay with me now. When the 1999 Rams, St. Louis Rams, went on to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl in 2000, the first in franchise history, why, they had breakaway speed on special teams. Remember Tony Horn? He'd break it off in a minute. Remember Azahir Hakim? Do you remember? Put fear in the special teams coaches of the opponents. Cause mistakes. Now we've got the No Yekatol twins. See, because as I mentioned last episode, 87, I told you, I went back to that book. There's a book of obscure football diagnoses, and I found it in there. I told you, I found it, the same book it had, Past Happiest, and that's where I learned of Mr. McWonder's condition. And in that same book, buried deep in the book, no Yekatol. It's a condition. And Stoney and Trammell, they have it. They have it. Wear your mask around them. If you don't, you won't gain a yard when you touch the rock. I'm telling you, they've got no yak at all. And these are your special teams weapons. Oh, McWonder. Well, he's got nothing to work with, you see. I've got to say that on TV every day. Really? I've just given you damn near a football team full of talent, above average talent, that was discarded from the palace by no one other than the main man in the kingdom down there, the head honcho, the big dog, Mr. McWonder himself. His call. So he sets these fires, and then he runs and throws something on them. He'll throw Buster Brown on them, and that fails. And he'll throw Stoney on the fire, and that fails. And he'll say, I've got Trammell, and that, and so then the ferret and the lemmings, they jump on their platforms, every day, national platforms, and they scream out, well, he's got nothing to work with, you see. By his own volition. And so that's why you can come here, my folks. You can come here, because here, on the outskirts of the city, in this lonely outpost, I will bring you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not in the cult. When McGenius is praiseworthy, I will praise him. And when he is McBlunder, I will call him out. Every damn time. And now it's become a weekly, the McBlunder report. I've got my McBlunder notes for the Baltimore game. We'll get to it. We'll get to it in game analysis. But I suspect now, not the ferret. The ferret, he's in the cult, so I'm not counting him. But a lot of these media types, I don't think they watch these games. They get a little highlight package once the games are over, because, there's lots of games going on. And they'll see a few highlights, and they'll say, oh, McGenius, he did it again. He's a coaching mastermind. And they don't even have the blunders in the package. That gets edited out. You don't see all the foolish stuff he's doing. That's why I'm here. Because I believe that in this case, the arsonist is putting out the fire. All right. So, my folks, in the interest of time, because this was an epic game, and so we definitely have a lot to get to in the way of game analysis. And so let's just get right to it, shall we? In the interest of time, because as I say, this was an epic ball game. I'm just going to give you game analysis of the Rams' opening offensive drive, and then we'll fast forward to the end of the fourth quarter and overtime. And that's all I'll give you, because if I gave you everything, and I have the notes for it, but if I gave you everything, my folks, we'd be here for hours, because it was just that much to dissect and really take in. This game was intense. So let's do it now. Game analysis. All right. So now, right out the gate, inactives today on offense. Well, the tight end, Tyler Higbee. And just as a quick aside, when I mentioned all of the talent that has escaped from the palace under Mr. McWonder's watch, I probably should include as well Gerald Everett. Remember, wasn't Gerald Everett the lead tight end, and Higbee was sort of tight end too? And Mr. McWonder, he didn't value Everett really, it seemed like, and he elevated Higbee, and there we have it. And so at this point, again, just a little bit more data, more evidence to support my contention. All right, but Mr. Higbee is out, inactive, and so the tight end who's going to start is going to be Mr. McGenius' new protege, Hunter Long. That's who he likes now, see? And he's got this rookie, Davis Allen, see? These are the two guys he wants. Well, but wait, what about Bryson Hopkins? What about the experience he's shown in the playoffs and postseason? And what about the promise he's shown on the field? Well, it seems like Bryson Hopkins is yet another one of them in that line that has fallen out of favor with Coach McWonder. Do you see what I'm saying, my folks? Yet another example. And so Mr. McWonder doesn't value Bryson Hopkins. He wants Higbee, Long, and Allen. That's what he wants. And so Bryson Hopkins has been inactive, coach's decision, the last couple or 3 weeks. But with Higbee inactive, Bryson Hopkins is active today. However, he's third on Mr. McWonder's depth chart. You understand? And so starting lineup for the LA Rams has been very consistent, and the O-line, extremely consistent. And so we do have that same starting lineup in 11 personnel today in Baltimore, with the exception of the tight end Higbee. And so, as well, inactive Mason Crosby. Now, there was a signing made, and there was quite a bit of discussion about that, because Haversick had been a little sketch, and so the Rams brought in Mason Crosby. Been around many years, many a game-winning kick, but up in years, despite the signing, Mason Crosby would not dress. It was Haversick, and man, Haversick showed up in the spotlight in that fourth quarter. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But otherwise, everyone else is there reporting for duty. Of course, Matty from the D, under center, and under center is a very important phrase, because the first possession of the game, this possession we're about to delve into, Matty from the D was under center for 9 consecutive snaps. And they ran the ball 9 consecutive times to amazing success. And so we'll get there in just a second. And then, of course, my wide receiver, Brew, my wide receiver, Stu, Puka Tutu Soup, lined up ready for duty. And I saw Puka in the pregame. They showed him dancing and skipping around. I like the energy, of course, and you're going to have that when you have the younger players who want to make it in the league and show they belong and they've got that energy to run through the wall for you, as opposed to older millionaires who may be like, hey, what do you mean, man? So, okay, I grant that. And so I like the vibe of the team, the energy of the team. And so what I've said, my contention has been that Mr. McGenius needs to really show up, elevate his game as a play caller to help these guys. That is why I say, contrary to the narrative that this is his finest coaching performance and that he has nothing to work with, the reality is the talent has been drained away because of his own decision making, and maybe it's personal interactions. I don't know what is at the core of this with so much of the talent that's been lost. But whatever it is, the end result of it is this is a fire of your own setting, coach, and so to then celebrate this when in reality these young players are playing their asses off. So you've got to help them, and not just young players. AD99 the Beast is balling. Soup is balling. Soup had a great game against Baltimore. Okay, Matty from the D. Now the thing though with Matty from the D, he gets to feeling good and he slings darts and dimes, but then you gotta remember, the man is haunted, right? So every so often he's going to give you, the opponent, a haunted gift. He's going to throw one to you, and if you just catch that poltergeist strike, you can win the... Remember Tart, San Francisco, that's all he had to do was catch it. And he dropped it, and I'm sure Tart will live with that the rest of his life. Oh, I dropped a poltergeist strike that would have won the game. Well, Matty was up to his old tricks in the fourth quarter. Okay? Down the stretch. But none of that is discussed, because in the highlight package, when it's condensed down, all these blunders and mistakes, they get edited out. And so it's boiled down to McGenius with no talent, Matty throwing darts, and AD99 the Beast got a sack or two. Okay? So that's how it's distilled down. And so the Baltimore Ravens start out on offense, but the Rams D has been, I have been so impressed with the Rams D, with Raheem Morris, with AD99 the Beast, with Young, and all of them as a unit playing so well together. Jones and Johnson and all, I don't even want to start going down the list, but they've been balling out of control. Now, again, I say, you must help them as a play caller, Mr. McWonder. Yes, you can help the D by a little bit more ball control, a little bit more balance. And so this is what I've been preaching for the longest time. And so we see it rear its ugly head and bite the Rams yet again. The talent drain, the McBlunders, it's all there yet again. And were it not for that, the Rams go up there and upset Baltimore because they played well enough to win. Just help them, coach. Help them. These people you've elevated, there was a major drop by Allen in overtime, right? So my point being, though, is that talent drain and those McBlunders in play calling, that's a double whammy that will kill you against a good team. And that's what we saw in Baltimore. So after the Rams hold on D, Baltimore punts. And who is it receiving the punt? I told you what the condition is. No yak at all. It's in the book. There he is, Trammell. No yak at all. And on this particular play, Trammell receives the punt. And he's hit and stood up, and he goes sideways, and 3 or 4 Ravens dropping where he stands. Once again, no yak at all. And I think to myself then, well, this guy may as well just fair catch everything because he gets no yak at all. But even that would become problematic, as we would find later, when even the fair catch is not a certainty with Trammell. The Rams take over on offense, and it starts off innocently enough, as it often does, with a handoff to K. Will, who runs up the gut, and it's a nice gain on first down. And my initial instinct was, okay, good, that's the way to start. But this time, stay with it. You got nice push, you got nice gain. Stay with it. This is what I'm thinking after the first play of the Rams' possession. What does Mr. McWonder stay with it? Oh my goodness. First, K. Will run up the gut, 5-yard gain. Next play, K. Will again. This time, 11 yards. Up the gut again. I'm like, yeah, let success be your guide, McWonder. And he does. And he runs again, a 3rd time in a row. 4 more, K. Will. And then K. Will again. 11 more. And I'm like, McGenius, Kyron Williams, you're rolling. Do that thing. And he does. And I mean, my heart is fluttering. It's pitter-pattering. This is what I'm talking about. If they can't stop you, if they're going backwards, moonwalking on defense, and your offensive line is firing off the ball, and your back is gouging them chunk yards, stay with it. Stay with it. And so he does. Here it is. McGenius is, and see my episode on offensive line talk a few episodes back about letting the offensive line fire off the ball, and you saw how giddy they were when McGenius let them run all those times against Arizona and win that game. You saw. And so he's doing it again, my folks. And so now Kyron Williams subs out. Mr. Freeman subs in, and McGenius hands it to Mr. Freeman. 3 more yards, and now that's 5 runs in a row. And it's punishing Baltimore, and Baltimore is looking around at each other, kind of bewildered, like, hey, we're top-ranked defense. They're not supposed to be able to run the ball down our throats like this. And McGenius, and you know what I'm thinking, keep it up, sir. McGenius is telepathically receiving the message, it feels like. I should point out here that the entire time now, Matty from the D has been under center. No gun, no pistol, under center. And McGenius is, of course, he has that little wrinkle. He's got window dressing over it. So you see somebody going in motion prior to the handoff. Maybe it's Puka, maybe it's Soup, maybe it's Doo-Doo, maybe it's your tight end, but you see that motion. It's like window dress, and it's almost like faking the jet sweep and still handing it off. And then on the 6th run of the game, he actually goes with the jet sweep to Puka, who gets the edge. And I'll tell you what, Puka fast. Puka got jets, okay? And that is the 6th consecutive run for McGenius. Now K-Will back in. McGenius hands off. K-Will up the gut, first down, and now that's 7 consecutive runs. And I'm beside myself. I'm standing up right in front of the TV and I'm yelling out things, and I'm overjoyed. I'm so impressed. And so I'm thinking, will McWonder, will he dare run an 8th consecutive time? But I'll tell you what I was really thinking. I was thinking, with the success you are having on the ground against these guys, there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't, as they would say in Mortal Kombat, finish them. You must finish them. There's no reason to throw it, McWonder. And he does run an 8th consecutive time. K-Will plus a face mask penalty on the run. And so now my folks, it is 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 20. So now it's 1st and 10 at the 20. The red zone, 8 straight runs. And he hands off to Kyron Williams again. K-Will up the gut. And K-Will is into the second level before he's touched. And then when he's hit, he carries 2 defenders, surging, plowing ahead. 11 more, 9 consecutive runs, 11 more yards, K-Will, and now it is 1st and goal. 1st and goal, 9 straight runs. The last run you see, the Baltimore defense is cooked. They are baffled. They are weary. They are through. Finish him. Hand the ball to your running back. He's getting you 10 yards a pop. And then, what do I see, my folks? My folks. My folks. What do I see? 1st and goal. 9 straight runs. Matty under center. And now, what do I see? McWonder has Matty in the shotgun. I'll say it ain't so, McGenius. And then I'm thinking, no. McGenius is probably just trying to fool him a little bit. McGenius will still run the ball out of the gun. He could, but I'm worried because I'm thinking, why would you do that now? You see what you're doing now. Why are you going to change it up here? It's 1st and goal. Maybe he's just going to run out of the gun. Let it be that. Just let it be that. No, that's not what it is. McGenius is throwing. He's throwing on 1st and goal. So here it is, my folks. This is it. Your McBlunder spotlight of the week. 1st and goal. You're blowing the Baltimore defense back. They're moonwalking. He's some on like no other. And you move Matty into the gun. He throws behind the DeMarcus Robinson, who has to bat the ball down to prevent a 95-yard pick six. Oh, the guy is strike. What in the name of all that is holy is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? And you guys, you probably have an idea of my reaction when I saw that. Maybe you don't. And I'm thinking, see, once I calmed down and finished with the expletives and the pacing and all of that, I'm like, see, this is why you below 500. Because of you. You are the arsonist, man. You set the fires. And then you try like hell to put them out, and they praise you for it. Look at him trying to put out all those fires, but they never say the last part that he set. And now the Demarcus Robinson having to act as a defender and be a free safety or a DB to bat down an errant, wild, poltergeist strike, Matty pass. It wasn't the first or the last time. Yes, it would happen again in this very same game. The man's haunted now. I'm sorry to tell you. How you think the haunted palace got that way? Huh? So I try to regain my composure and continue to watch. And I'm like, okay, tragedy averted. You see what almost just happened to you. It was going to be really bad. You saw it now. And football guys gave you a break. Okay? So now, it's 2nd and goal now. Go right back to that run that's been so successful. Huh? Huh? No, not McWonder. No, Mr. McWonder remains in the shotgun. And Mr. McWonder is throwing again. So now, Baltimore, they feel a reprieve. They say, oh, whew, thank God. Mr. McWonder has decided to chuck the ball. You know, he's got that condition. He couldn't just let success be his guide. So you have a 2nd and goal. You can run. You don't have to stay along this ill-fated course. But no, McWonder determined. See? Stubborn with it. See? He's back in the gun again, throwing again, and this time long for Puka out of the end zone, 3rd and goal now. And I'm like, see, you are about to blunder, to bungle, you are about to deface a beautiful drive. You're about to mar it, ruin it. Because if you get no points or have to settle for a field goal here, that's a bad sign after that open. And it's 3rd and goal now. And it's not too late to change course, 3rd and goal. But no, McGenius. I should say Mr. McWonder is still in the shotgun, determined. He's stubborn with it, you see. And he's throwing yet again. And this time, why Baltimore? The Ravens now, they understand. For some baffling reason, Coach McWonder has given them a reprieve. They were Shamon moonwalking backwards, getting pushed back into their own end zone. 9 straight runs, dominant. And then, first at goal. In the gun, throwing, incomplete. 2nd and goal, throwing again, incomplete. Now, 3rd and goal, back in the shotgun, yet again, sick with it. And Baltimore says, hey, okay, we get it. He wants to throw it in the end zone after all of that success on the ground. He's not satisfied. And so Baltimore says, okay, let's accommodate. How about let's send a blitz? And they do. And Matty has to bail the pocket, and he throws it out of the end zone incomplete. And so after 9 straight punishing, dominating, powerful run plays to set up 1st and goal, you go incomplete, and have to settle for the field goal. And I'm like, McBlunder is too kind. You are now McSquander. You have McSquandered this outstanding, this exemplary, this superb drive. You've McSquandered it. 3-0 Ram. I'm thinking this is why you lose. This is why you're below 500, or you soon will be. when this one is concluded. This is why you're not dominant as an offensive force in the league. It's not because as you are so often given a pardon that you don't have talent. It's because you don't utilize it in a way that is conducive to pulling out victories. And you have suspect talent in critical positions. Nepotism. That's what I call it. Nepotism at the Palace, and it bites you in your ass every time. And just like that, I mean, the football guys had given you a pass, so you know they had to burn you. So just like that, 3-0 on the very next play. I mean, the very next play. Lamar, the Magic Man, this point goes long, home run ball, touchdown Baltimore, and it's 7-3, just like that. And I have to give a shout out to OBJ, playing great, looking great. And so, he was doing this thing. He balled out. When the Rams were in Baltimore last, Sony Michel and OBJ were really, in my opinion, the two players who should have gotten game balls on the offensive side. And Matty, Matty gives and he takes. But OBJ and Sony Michel, they won you that Baltimore game. And so this time OBJ was on the other side, and he played a big role. And I believe he was the leading receiver for the Ravens against the Rams. And he had to get in the end zone and do his thing. So now, in the interest of time, let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to the end of the game now. Move into the fourth quarter. We're about midway in the fourth quarter now, where we're going to pick up the analysis. And Ravens are leading 23-22. And Baltimore is punting. And so Baltimore punts to, it's Trammell. And we've already diagnosed his condition, no yak at all. But now, even more disturbing than that, if you can imagine, now Trammell can't even cleanly field the kick punt. And, oh no, it's a muff. The ball goes straight through his bread basket, and it's on the turf. And Trammell, he falls on top of it, and he does recover it. But I'm like, jeez, all you're gonna do is there catch it, and now you have a problem doing that? And regrettably, my folks, I have to report that this was only the first one. There was another one to come. Oh, your relatives. And so, now, LA with the ball now. And K. Will still running well for 7. Then K. Will again now, and he's stutter stepping, and I like how his feet are moving, and then he sees the hole, and then he's bolting through it. And so now K. Will is tackled by his ankles. It was a shoestring. It was a touchdown saving tackle. And so it's 18 more for K. Will. And again, I have just repeatedly kept saying, run the ball, man. All you got to do, you've identified an area of weakness with the Baltimore Ravens today. Exploit it. Now, K. Will, over 100 on the day now. But Matty, under center, changes the play now. He audibilizes to beat the blitz. He goes over the top. Who is it? It's Allen, the tight end, the rookie. Now, at this point, there's no Higbee. As you know, there's also no Long. And as we would learn later, MCL done for the season. Done. And so, 19 yards to Allen, and we've got a first down. Matty back under center. Soup in motion, and Soup had a Soup-like game. So welcome back. Soup is in motion, play action. Matty over the top. A long one for Puka. Puka with a full extension. Superman. Dun-dun-dun. Brought it down. What an amazing catch by the rookie. And so that's 23 huge yards more. And the Rams are rolling. They are not going quietly into that good night. The amazing rookie and Puka, he gets up and he roars like a lion, like Mufasa. Puka. And now the Rams are rolling. It's about 5.5 left to play. Fourth quarter. And McGenius goes right back to the run correctly. And K. Will picks up another handful. Then Soup in motion from right to left this time. Matty hits Soup in the flat, and Soup sidesteps a defender and down the sideline 15 big yards, and Soup is hit out of bounds, and then Soup gets up like Fred G. Soup G. Sanford, and the G stands for Giving, and Soup has to limp off, and Soup had a big game, but Soup is still struggling with health issues. And so, fortunately, on the roster, there is the DeMarcus Robinson. And he is about to play a big factor in these final sequences of the game. But I also should point out, Tutu is now also out of the game. Tutu is taking a hard hit. And so it does look like Tutu is in concussion protocol, and so we don't know what his status will be for the upcoming game. But now back to the action on the field. And so now it's 1st and goal, and the first play is incomplete. Matty out of the end zone, but on 2nd and goal, Soup hobbles back in. He returns. 2nd and goal now. Matty in the gun. I'm thinking, run the ball, McWonder, but no. He's throwing. Pays off this time because Matty slips the pressure and throws, and it is the DeMarcus Robinson touchdown Rams, touchdown LA. And so now the Rams have taken the lead deep into the 4th quarter, and they line up to go for 2. And, well, the pass is tipped, and so the 2-point conversion attempt is no good, but LA leads now 28-23, 4:41 left in regulation. So now, 2-minute warning now, and Baltimore, the Magic Man, Lamar, has moved the team down into the red zone. And finally, because it's AD99 was doing everything he could, but he just couldn't get hold to him. But finally, it is Byron Young who gets Lamar on the turf. And even then, they had to look at it several different ways because he still managed to get rid of the ball, but it was ruled a sack. And so now, with about 90 seconds left in the game, and it's 3rd and 17 after that sack, and this is it now. They can go for it on 4th down, so they had one more down. But 3rd and 17, you stop them here. You put them in desperation mode. But Lamar, the Magic Man, does his thing, finds a receiver in the end zone for the touchdown. And then, after taking a 1-point lead, they line up to go for 2. And once again, the Magic Man, that 2-point conversion, it was a thing of beauty. Takes the snap, rolls right, stops on a dime, hitches a little bit, throws it, gets walloped, waylaid, but by then the ball's out. 2-pointer is good, and so now the Rams trail by 3. And there's just seconds left in regulation. And so can Matty from the D and the Rams offense march down the field and get in the field goal range, or better yet, win it all? Well, here it is. There's 1:16 left in regulation. The Rams are trailing on the road to what some would say is the best team in the NFL. 31-28. Rams trail at Baltimore with the ball. 1:16 to play. And from the 25, Matty from the D in the gun. Incomplete. Pocket crumbling as he throws incomplete for Puka. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 from the gun. This time, Matty gets the ball out quicker. And this time, Matty hits the DeMarcus Robinson. And on the play, the defender, Marlon Humphrey, on the DeMarcus Robinson's break, the defender slipped and fell, and DeMarcus Robinson was free along the sideline, and Matty hits him, and the DeMarcus Robinson spins, but if he just keeps his feet in bounds, like the commercial with Sniff Bayless, if he just, and the playmaker, if he just keeps his feet, you gotta stay in bounds there. He can walk it off. He can run it right down for the touchdown. But he pulls it in and turns and starts upfield, and he steps out of bounds along the sideline. Oh, no one there to stop him. But it is a first down. Their own 44-yard line, and Matty throwing again, lofts one up, and he had a couple of these where he just kind of lofts it up for his receiver, and who is it? Dun-dun-dun, Soup brings it down, makes the adjustment in midair, brings it down, first down, Rams. That's a big gain, and so now it's first down at the Baltimore 22-yard line. And on that last play, it was Marlon Humphrey who had a bad sequence. They beat him again. First, the DeMarcus Robinson, then Soup. So Matty is in the shotgun, and it's a check down to the tight end, to Davis Allen. And it's a 4-yard pickup, right? And so it's 2nd and 6 with 21 seconds left in regulation. And here, my folks, this play must also be highlighted. Now, at this point, the Rams are well within field goal range. Okay? So you don't want to do anything dumb, stupid here. You're clearly within field goal range. Now, if with 21 seconds left, if you can take a shot in the end zone to win it ahead of overtime, okay, I'm all for that. But Matty from the D, the haunted quarterback, you must stress to him, McGenius. You must understand this, Doctor Who, that you cannot be reckless with the ball here, because one of your patented poltergeist strikes will end the game. You lose. Don't cheat yourself out of a field goal here and a chance for overtime. Be smart with the ball, right? No, my folks. Matty the Haunted, shooting himself in the foot, lofts up a pass here. Lofts up a pass foolishly, recklessly, sillily. Matty lofts up a floating wounded duck. And as it descends in the end zone, it's clear that there are two defenders. He's thrown a wounded duck into double coverage in the end zone. He's throwing for the DeMarcus Robinson, who, for the second time this game, has to act as a pass defender and break up the interception because it was a poltergeist strike to end the game, to lose in regulation. Matty, why do something so simple-minded? Why do something so blatantly reckless? And no one asked him. No one asked him, why would you do that, Matty? Why would you throw the game away like that, Matty? Because he's haunted, that's why. And so once again, the football gods smiled on Matty, and the Demarcus Robinson, like a safety, like a DB, swats the ball away from the defender waiting for the poltergeist strike. And the Rams get another life, despite that bad decision. I'm like, no, as I watch it in slow motion unfold. And so then we compound that error with a delay of game penalty. They couldn't get the play in. And I suspect, now no one will confirm this, but I'll bet that part of the problem with getting that play in after that near poltergeist strike was that McGenius probably couldn't get that lump out of his throat. He was trying to call the next play and it wouldn't come out. Nobody talks about this. See? You have to see the game to see what's really going on. And so, 3rd and 6 now, 16 seconds. Matty throwing again. A little safer effort this time towards the back of the end zone. The Demarcus Robinson again is the target. Incomplete. And so, please kick the field goal, I'm thinking at this point. And Havrasik comes in and he lines up to kick and ball down and kick is up and but Havrasik's got that little, when he first kicked it, I'm like, this fool is good. It's good. Good job, Havrasik. And so 31-31 OT in Baltimore. And, as well as the Rams have played, there have been enough errors and bungles and McBlunders that I just suspect the Rams are going to find a way to lose this game. Well, as we know, that is, in fact, what happened. So, the Ravens send out 3 players, including OBJ. The Rams send out only Matty from the D, the haunted one. And he comes out and, tails never fails, right? That's what they say. But Matty, he calls heads and, it's tails, And so Baltimore will get the ball. I've noticed now that in the game, just as an aside, Moose, the announcer, not the play-by-play, but the color analyst, he repeatedly questioned McGenius' decisions. And I thought, he's going to get in trouble. I believe that's prohibited. I do not believe you're permitted to criticize McGenius. It's verboten. Okay? But Moose did it. Like myself, he verbally questioned why McGenius wouldn't finish the drive off to start the game with such success. Why he would throw incomplete passes and settle for a field goal. Even after he questioned it the first time they came back from commercial break, he was still scratching his head. He still couldn't believe it. And I'm like, Moose, welcome to my world. I know all about these kinds of things with McWonder. So I thought, that's interesting that, someone didn't tell Moose that you don't criticize McWonder. He's the golden boy. You don't do it. Whatever he does or doesn't do, he doesn't have any talent, you see. He's a genius. He just doesn't have any talent. Okay? So now, here we are. Overtime. And, speaking of not having talent, I get ahead of myself. Baltimore gets the ball first. But look at the Rams D. Look at Raheem Morris and the Los Angeles Rams defense. They hold the Ravens. Lamar, the Magic Man Jackson. They hold the Baltimore Ravens in overtime to a 3-and-out. Rams get the ball, and now a field goal wins it all now. It's winning time. Let's do this thing, right? And so, Baltimore punts after that 3-and-out. And, well, standing back to field the punt, fair catch most likely, it's Trammell. Now, you know Trammell has no Yakatol issues. You know this. But I'm good with that. Just for this moment in time, just field the punt and let the offense take over and see if we can't get a field goal. Well, damn. No. What happens is Trammell muffs another one. He fumbles another punt. This one, overtime. He fumbles it and the game flashes right before my eyes. And then he stumbles and falls on it. And they recover the ball. The Rams retain possession. But I'm like, you got a problem, McGenius. McWonder, we have a problem. The nephew-tism. It's gone too far. Now, I've learned that the Los Angeles Rams have the dead last ranked special teams unit in all the NFL. Dead last. And in a game where the teams battled and fought and played fairly close to each other, it was special teams that would make all the difference. And so Duvernay, their kick returner, was injured. They had to go, the Ravens did, to their backup kick returner, Wallace. Their backup kick returner. The Rams have gone with the No Yakatol twins. They have now Trammell muffing punts with no yak at all. And so you've got Trammell and you've got Wallace, the backup for Baltimore. And let's spotlight him now. Trammell has just fumbled the punt for the second time in the second half of this game and here in overtime. No yak at all in the muffs. And so the Rams do recover and they do take over, but McWonder, we've got a problem. And I yelled out at this point, this is atrocious. I said, we had Brandon Powell. We had Brandon Powell. And look at this mess. Look at your family members. Look at the nephewism. Okay. Rams get the ball now, and, first play of overtime, they run. It's K-Will, nice, and K-Will gets about 4, and so it's actually 6. K-Will for 6. It's 2nd and 4, nice, and on 2nd and 4, K-Will leaks out. McGenius is throwing, and K-Will leaks out, and he's open in the flat, and Matty wildly overthrows him. And see, they're gonna rave about he throws darts and dimes, and he throws sidearm, and he throws off platform, and he's a gunslinger. Yes, all that's true. But he's haunted also. And he'll give you the game if you just catch the ball, and he misses wide open throws in crunch time. And so, yes, there's a yin and a yang. The man has a pro and a con. So for all the game-winning drives he's led, he also leads in pick sixes, I think, all time or second. And so there's So he misses K-Will in the flat, what would have been a first down, misses, overthrows him, and it's third and 4. And so here now, yet another critical error. And where the blame lies, I can't tell you. Was it McGenius getting too choked up? Was it Matty getting mixed up and confused? What was the problem? There have been all the, well, it was, there was something with the headset, or they couldn't hear. It was this, that, or the other. What it was an error. It was a blunder. It was a delay of game. And so 3rd and 4 becomes 3rd and 9. And then yet another blunder now, 3rd and 9. Matty, sidearm, nice throw. It was a sidearm dart. He hits the tight end in the hands. That's a bad place to throw it, I guess. At least it was for Davis Allen. Drop in overtime. He's looking for the first down marker without the ball. And the Rams have to punt. And so I keep wondering why Bryson Hopkins can't get any run. You're down to Davis Allen, Higbee's out, and Long is out, and you're feeding Davis Allen. What has Bryson Hopkins done so wrong, Mr. McWonder? I really would like to know. And so after the drop by Allen, the Rams punt, and now we get the coup de grace. The punt is off to the Baltimore 25-yard line, and Wallace, the aforementioned backup kick returner, fields the punt. And I'll tell you right now, there were blocks in the back, at least one for sure that I saw. But Wallace stays on his feet, makes a beeline for the sideline. He gets tripped up, but he keeps his balance and breaks it. Walk it off. Game ending. Overtime punt return, 75 yards. Touchdown. Game over. Game over. And so there it is. That contrast is so plain to see. You've got no Yakitar muffin punts, and they've got a backup punt returner breaking it for 75 to win the game. Ring it up. And I have to say, you deserve it. You don't value talent. You don't value Brandon Powell. You don't value Bryson Hopkins. You don't value Bryce Perkins. You value ripping and bumbling. You value the No Yakital nephews. Stoney. You saw Stoney on the his uncle McGenius made him captain of special teams. You saw him on special teams. Stoney getting pushed around, falling, and then running 13, 15 yards behind the returner. Stoney. Hey, I don't mind him on special teams. That's your kinfolk. You want him on the team? Great. But Trammell? Muffin punts with no yak at all? You want to try to beat Baltimore like that? I'll say it ain't so, McWonder. Say it ain't so, but it's so. And so you get what you deserve now. And I will say this. The team, on balance, played pretty well. I like the fight. I like the grit. I like the enthusiasm. If only the play caller would help out more. And if he would only feature his best talent instead of his favorite talent, I think the Rams would be doing better. They'd be better than 6-7, my folks. The Rams have bungled away, McBlundered away several games this season. Now, this is episode 88. Now, I go back and check them out, the previous ones. I've been chronicling it. Okay, this is nothing new. Well, I mean, it was an epic game. And, well, I call Lamar Jackson the Magic Man for several reasons. I mean, you saw it on display, that 2-point conversion, the touchdown to take the lead late in the fourth quarter. He had some misses now, to be sure, but maybe the best illustration of why I call him the Magic Man is because Lamar was 24 of 43 for 316 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have the one poltergeist strike. But Lamar Jackson, also the Baltimore Ravens' leading rusher on the day, with 70 more yards on the ground. So Lamar Jackson accounted for damn near 400 yards of Baltimore's offense on his own. He had 11 carries, 70 yards, a 6.4 yard per carry average. The Magic Man. And so, talking about the 25-30 principle here, essentially, and the numbers will be a little off because this game went to overtime, and so there are a lot more plays in this game than there would be in your typical game. But the Ravens, so Baltimore, the leading rushing team in the NFL, actually had less carries than the Rams did. Baltimore, 26 carries for 139 yards. The Rams actually had 29 carries. 29 carries for slightly less, 129 yards. But of course, a lot of that is skewed because of those initial 9 carries on that opening drive. But despite that, 29 carries is the total, and we like that. 29 carries, 41 passes. Matty from the D, 23 of 41 for 294, 3 touchdowns. They dropped a couple of haunted gifts, so it's not on the record. 23 of 41 for 294 with 3 touchdowns for Matty from the D. K. Will, 25 carries, 25. I like K. Will at 25. 25 for 114. That's a 4.6 yard per carry average. Mr. Freeman had 3 carries. He only had 9 yards. And then Puka had the one on the jet sweep, the 1 carry. So the Rams did have the 29 carries. Welcome back, Soup. He was the leading receiver on the day for the Rams. 8 receptions, 115 yards, a 14.4 per reception average with a touchdown. Puka, the amazing Puka Nacua, 5 more receptions, 84 yards. He had a 16.8 yard per average. And rookie tight end, Allen, he had 4 catches, 50 yards. That was a big drop, though. He did have a touchdown, though. You got to give him that. And the Demarcus Robinson, 3 more receptions. He was targeted, but only 3 credited receptions for 46 yards. It's a 15.3 yard per reception average. And he also did have a touchdown. It was quite a game, and so we had to try to give it some coverage that would do it justice. 9 lead changes, 9 runs by McGenius to start the game, and at the end of the game, McGee said, well, when asked about that opening drive, we should have kept running it. Probably, the man said. So you still haven't come to grips with the magnitude of your blunder, have you? Probably. In the end, the numbers weren't that far off the totals. Both teams were comparable in first downs and in total plays. The Rams possessed the ball slightly longer. Baltimore did have the 1 turnover, but they get the dub. And so, let's look ahead at the schedule. I mean, what can we expect down the stretch we come? Well, there's 4 games left, my folks. The Rams sit at 6-7, and Green Bay. See, Green Bay is problematic because they've already beat the Rams. But Green Bay, you don't know what you're going to get with them. And they just lost to the Giants. And that whole scenario with the Giants and this quarterback of theirs, DeVito, and the mafioso vibe, and he's got the Godfather, the black pinstripe suit agent, and the fedora, and they're doing the kissing and the Italian stuff, and he's named DeVito. Well, they just knocked off Green Bay. So they did us a favor. Now, we got to deal with them down the road a little bit. So we're going to need to give them a nice whooping in a couple of 3 weeks. But coming up first, though, next up, the team formerly known as the Spurs, the Washington Commanders, roll into the Haunted Palace in Inglewood. And so Washington is not very good. Walking Dead, the Commanders. So the Rams must handle business, and they are favored against Washington coming up, and that'll even them back at 7-7. And then in a very short turnaround, just 4 days later, the Rams will play Thursday Night Football, and they play New Orleans, and that's a very intriguing matchup because New Orleans is also 6-7, my folks. We have a log jam of 6 and 7 teams fighting for those final couple wild card spots. Now, Green Bay is 6-7. New Orleans is 6-7. Atlanta is 6-7. The Rams are 6-7. Now, Seattle is also 6-7, and there's the 5. Now, I'm not worried about Seattle because we beat them twice. And they've got a tough schedule, and they got quarterback health issues. So I'm not really worried about them. Atlanta, they're going to be Atlanta. I don't think that's a threat. I haven't seen much Dirty Bird football this year, but I suspect they got to either win the division or they're out. And so that leaves Green Bay, Minnesota, the Rams, and New Orleans. And the Rams play New Orleans in just a few days, 4 days after they play the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. You handle your business there. Now you're 8-7 with 2 games to play. Then you get a nice little break, nice, 10-day break or whatever it is until you play the Giants and the Mafia people. And you got to put work in on them and get that dub. And then that gets you to 9-7. And the final game of the season is up there against your Dada. Up there in San Francisco against them damn Niners. And your father, he owns you now. So it would be hard for me to predict that he's not going to sun you again. That final game, which gets you to 9-8. But the wrinkle, though, is, well, the Rams played them pretty tough that first go-round, and the Niners may rest players. They have probably wrapped everything up. They're already in the postseason, and they'll probably have everything nice and tidy by that final game. So will they really put it all out there against the Rams? We will see, my folks. But one thing we do know, Minnesota is suspect. They have benched the scientists, and so they've got a tough way to go. I believe the next Minnesota game is the Bengals, and the Bengals are still putting up a fight. And so it's going to be extremely interesting as we come down the stretch, and you best believe that I will be here to cover it. And so what I'm going to ask from you, what I need you to do, is throw me one of these. Throw it to me now, please. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. And until the next time, my folks, which will not be too long from this time, Scotty says, one love.